This is the CHGO White Sox Show, and we're going to be talking about Chase Meidroth today and the future of the Chicago White Sox. Next. CHGO White Sox Podcast. This show is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. That was no ordinary Masters tournament that we saw this weekend, but I won money, and I was very happy betting with our friends over at Bet365. Go sign up today. It's a fantastic offer, especially if you are a new bettor. Bet $5, and if that bet wins or loses, you get $150 in bonus bets, regardless, again, if it wins or not. On today's show, we will be going through building around Chase Meidroth, taking inspiration from our pal Beef Loaf. He typically, or used to, lay out year by year who is going to play at what position, and we're going to basically do that same thing, but with the Chicago White Sox, and now, seemingly, their new second baseman of the future, Chase Meidroth. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, and make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We have a Bull show currently going on in Studio A. We had a Bear show happening before at noon today. We have a Blackhawks pre and post game tonight, one of their last ones of the regular season. So make sure that you're following us for all of your Chicago sports needs. There's even a Cubs channel, and they got post game later tonight as they take on the Padres. On today's show, we'll be talking about building around Chase Meidroth. We'll be talking about Andrew Vaughn. We got a lot of questions in the Monday mailbag about Andrew Vaughn. We'll talk about Braden Montgomery and even William Bergoya. We'll talk about the 2025 MLB draft, and we are being produced today by Joey Christopoulos. So if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, make sure you let them be known in the comments section, and Joey will be your voice today. Hi, Joey.
How are you, Sean? How was your weekend?
Oh, I'm great. Hey.
White Sox 4-5 at home?
Yeah, 4-5
Come
at
on
home.
now.
You don't want to catch them at rate because you might lose that game. You know, there's about like a 52% chance that you'll win that game. Outside of that, you don't want to catch the White Sox on the wrong day. But Sox Jack from Lyle mentions easiest 10-plus strikeout bet I've ever had yesterday. I had a very good Sunday. I won, I think, 60-something bucks on Garrett Crochet's strikeouts, and I think I won 168 on Rory's win. So we had a good weekend with Bet365. We're very excited about that. Anyways, Baseball Toss bringing up a fairly decent question. Bring up Caro already. What left does he have to prove? I was very excited that our pal, everyone's pal, Omar Narvaez, got to break that 2,385-day streak or 386-day streak of at-bats between Chicago White Sox plate appearances. I am totally fine if Edgar Caro gets called up. It is interesting to see that Caro started slower than Teal. Teal had a fantastic first 3 games. But what I thought was that Caro proved himself enough in AAA last year. If one of those were going to be on the opening day roster this year, it should be Caro. It seems like they're at least going to give them until June. I don't think this was part of the plan to have Caro or Teal be called up due to injury. I think that's why Narvaez was on the team, even down in AA. It seems like the plan was get Teal and Caro acquainted and situated to the routine that Walker McKinven wants them to get into down in AAA, and then bring them up, or one of them up, come June. But you're right, Baseball Tossed. If one of them is going to get called up, it's easily Caro because he seems primed, or more primed than Teal, to be the next catcher. Let's get into the Monday mailbag. If you have any questions, you can always join the Discord, become a CHGO diehard. You sign up, you get a free shirt of your choice. You also get access to our CHGO Discord lounge. You get access to certain articles up at allchgo.com for Discord members only, diehard members only. So make sure you sign up at allchgo.com. But today we went to X and asked the people over at Twitter some questions, and a lot of them were focused on Andrew Vaughn. Rodog saying, when will we see Elko in Chicago? Leonard42, who wore his CHGO White Sox shirt to Rate Field yesterday. Shout out to our guy Lenny. Not falling for Sheets' hot start. Vaughn has been a failure. When do you call up Elko? Sean Jankowski, how much longer do they stick with Vaughn at first base? And then White Sox truther, when will Vaughn be getting his well-earned 14-year extension? So to answer the Sean Jankowski one, how much longer do they stick with Vaughn at first base? I think Sam's right. About 14 years. So get used to it. Whatever Hawk used to say, I always screw it up. Strap it down.
Cinch it up and strap it down?
I don't think it's cinch it up. You see, I don't have the flow of that. That one is not one that I used to remember, but everyone else quotes it.
Lace it up, tie it up. Sit back, relax, and strap it down.
I think it's that one.
There we go.
There you go. Just get ready for the next 14 years of Andrew Vaughn. I think that's also like one of the biggest sins as a White Sox fan is to bring up Hawk Harrelson and then completely butcher his quote.
Dadgummit.
So, yeah, dadgummit. I don't belong in baseball. What are you doing, Wegner? My bad. Anyways, the main questions or focus on the Mailbag Monday was Andrew Vaughn. Andrew Vaughn currently has a weighted runs created plus of 7. MLB average is 100. Usually you want to be a little below 100. Usually you want to be where he is. Usually you want to be above it. If you're 150 weighted runs created plus, you're one of the best hitters in baseball. But you don't want to be closer to 0 than 100. Again, his number is 7. His career numbers is a 99. He has been pretty brutal, to say the least, in the first 15 games. And there are a decent amount of questions that I have. Why did the White Sox pick Andrew Vaughn to tender this offseason rather than Gavin Sheets, who was cheaper and a left-handed hitter? Maybe it has to do with the 30 picks in between them, Vaughn being the 3rd overall pick, and then Sheets, I think, was somewhere in the 30s. Maybe it has to do with the actual investment that the franchise had to make into them. But Getz is not the guy that drafted him. And even Mike Shirley. I don't think Mike Shirley was the guy that drafted Andrew Vaughn. I don't think Shirley was still around. I think it was Nick Hostetler. So I don't understand what the actual connection to the White Sox front office is to Andrew Vaughn still. I think they believe that he can be selective and swing at the right pitches. But, Gavin Sheets is just absolutely out-hitting him. Gavin Sheets, in 36 plate appearances as a DH, a 316 average, 357 on-base percentage, and a 526 slugging percentage. He has 42 total plate appearances, 36 of them as DH. That's his true slash line in the total 42 plate appearances. I've just found it interesting that he hasn't played any first base at all. He's been used as a pinch hitter 4 times. He's been used in left field for a game, so he has 4 plate appearances there. And then everything else, he's been a DH. I find it interesting he's not a first baseman. Maybe the Padres don't think he's a first baseman, but that's where I would have played him if I was the Chicago White Sox. And you can look at the normal box score stats and just say that Gavin Sheets is clearly out-hitting Andrew Vaughn. I think the only thing that Sheets is doing worse than Andrew Vaughn is walking, and it's 3 walks compared to 4 walks, so it's really not even that egregious. Sheets has truly outperformed Andrew Vaughn to start this year. But when you do go under the hood, you see that these two players are still very much alike. And I said back in August, if Andrew Vaughn and Gavin Sheets are both on the team, I'll plunge into the Marina Towers. And I should have just said, if Gavin Sheets and or Andrew Vaughn are on the team, I will plunge myself into the Marina Towers because I don't think either of them are it. I don't think we're really missing out on Gavin Sheets. I think it's a hot start that will eventually cool off. And I don't think that Gavin Sheets or Andrew Vaughn was worth the $6 million. Vaughn does have a lower whiff rate, 21% compared to 23% for Gavin Sheets. The issue, though, is that Vaughn, his bat speed's around 69.8 miles per hour. Sheets is 73.7. So the fact that those whiff rates are fairly similar and Gavin Sheets swings the bat 4 miles per hour harder, that should mean that Gavin Sheets hits the ball harder. However, Vaughn's exit velocity is 93 miles per hour and Sheets is 91.4 miles per hour. So I think that means that Vaughn's actual quality of contact is better. He swings the bat less hard, but he's able to get a more line drive trajectory rather than like a pop-up trajectory from Sheets, and the ball goes 162 feet compared to 160. But there's nothing really that's like sticking out and being like, wow, Sheets is doing this better or Vaughn's doing this better. They look just fairly bad. Sheets' damage per batted ball event is 25%. Vaughn's is 23.1%. So they're pretty much doing the same amount of damage whenever they hit the ball. You look at Vaughn's max exit velocity, it's 108.5 compared to Sheets' 106.1. So Vaughn has hit the ball harder than he has. Sheets does pull the ball a little bit more, 10.7% compared to 7.7 for Vaughn, but still, that's not the amount that you want to be pulling the ball. especially when you're a first baseman. You want to be pulling the ball on a fly a lot more than 10.7%. Vaughn's been more selective, so maybe that's what's going to last throughout the year is Vaughn will be able to kind of, push through adversity a little bit more than Gavin Sheets. But I just think both players suck, to be honest with you. Players with higher max exit velocities than Vaughn on the White Sox. Robert, 113.8. Vaughn's is at 108.5. Tice, 109.9. Slater, 109.3. Nick Maton, 109.3. So Vaughn, even though he is under the hood better than Sheets, Nick Maton's better than both of them. Nick Maton should be the first baseman. 90 percentile exit velocity. So if you take all of the exit velocities that they've had in 2025 and you just look at the top 90 percentile, the top 90 percentile balls that they've hit hardest, Tice average out at 106.1, Michael A. Taylor 106.1, Robert 105.9, Slater 104.7, Maton 104.7, Vaughn 104.5. So again, like he's in category with Austin Slater and Nick Maton, who's getting a minor league deal, and Slater's getting $1.75 million. I just don't think that Vaughn is it. If they wanted to move on from Vaughn and play Elko like Leonard said or Rodog said, that would be fine for me. Let's talk a little bit about Elko because I don't think that they're missing out. I don't think that it's like egregious that Elko is down in the minor leagues. And I think that they should call him up, but is that going to be your first baseman in 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029? Sure, maybe if he has a really good 3 months, but what I think they're going to end up doing is just give Vaughn probably run time until May, and then hopefully if Elko continues to hit like this, they'll just make that move then. Elko right now in AAA, 366 average, 435 on base percentage, 488 slug, 3 extra base hits on 15 hits. So that means he's got 12 singles, which has been the most impressive thing. The fact that he's got a 366 batting average, that's been impressive to see from Elko. But you look at Vaughn's weighted runs created plus by month, you wonder if the cold weather has to do with it. And there are some stats to back that up. In April, his career weighted runs created plus 88. In May, 99. In June, he really starts to heat up, 128. But then in July, 87. September, October, 81. You look at the 6 months that you play baseball in, he's only above average in 2 of them. We've seen 4 years of Andrew Vaughn. I think it's just time to give Elko a shot. I don't know if Elko's better, but I know he's better than Andrew Vaughn. Do you remember that hilarious NBC Sports Chicago stat from last year? In the second half, they were very proud that Andrew Vaughn had 59 hits, 8 home runs, and 27 RBIs. That's a 150 game pace of 150 hits, 20 home runs, and 69 RBIs. And what did Andrew Vaughn do in 2024? 139 hits, 19 home runs, 70 RBIs. He's the same damn player he was in the first half. There is no difference. He sucks. Mark Carman told you when he was in the locker room that he's eye to eye with Andrew Vaughn. I've seen Mark Carman. He's a decent tennis player, but he's not a major league first baseman. He's not big enough. I don't think Andrew Vaughn's big enough. I think Andrew Vaughn does an okay of discerning pitches, but even then, at the end of the day, he doesn't walk enough. If pitchers were afraid of Andrew Vaughn, he would not get himself the chance to get out as much as he does. He either is swinging, missing at pitches, or he's putting balls that he shouldn't be swinging at into play, and he's putting it into play weekly. I don't think that there's anything that is saying keep Andrew Vaughn. And it's not because Gavin Sheets is doing well right now with San Diego. I don't even think that's that believable. I think that it's just that Vaughn kind of stinks. Sheets kind of stinks. There isn't really a first baseman of the future. So you can go with Elko, but is Elko going to be here in 2026 and 2027? I don't think there's a decent guarantee. You could try it out, and maybe next year you have some Caro and Teal appearances at first base, but you don't have a first baseman of the future in my mind.
Yeah, when it comes to Andrew Vaughn, obviously the previous stats and the track record that you just laid out is pretty consistent. I think the one thing that I always go back to, that when he was drafted, and he got drafted so high, what was the one thing about him that gave him some sort of leg up or some sort of advantage? His sense and control of the strike zone. And we're just not seeing that. We have not seen any progress on that whatsoever. So, I mean, if it isn't the last straw, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Unless they're waiting for him to maybe heat up in May and June, as you said. Because last year, obviously, he hit, 209 in May and turned it around a little bit, but then obviously took a step back.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with him. You know what? I'm good. We could talk about if this happens, that happens. The biggest thing was taking him out of the outfield. He's been playing first base for the past 2 years. He stinks. To answer Jack's question in Sox Haps, he does have minor league options. He has 3 minor league options. He's never played in the minor league. So you could technically send him down to Charlotte. I don't see why, but also it worked for Torque. So maybe he does need to make some adjustments. Maybe you send down Vaughn in April and May, give Elko that run, and you give Vaughn a little bit of fire underneath his butt, if you want to. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and make sure you are subscribed to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We have to take a break. We'll talk about Chase Meidroth. We'll talk about the future of the shortstop position, and we'll talk about Braden Montgomery and more after the break. We want to let you know about our friends over at Bet365. They are now live in Illinois. If you haven't signed up, now is the perfect time to sign up with our friends over at Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. New customers can now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use our code CHGO365, deposit $10, and place a bet of $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if you win or lose. And since you're a baseball fan, they do have the early payout offer with Bet365. Early payout offer. You're a winner if your team goes up 5 runs. You're an instant payout on straight bets and parlays. Those will be marked as winners if your team takes a 5-run lead at any point in the game. Download the app and use code CHGO365 when you sign up to try out their fun way of gambling. You know what? Hey, if you think the White Sox are going to get blown out, just take the team's money line and maybe you get paid out by the 4th inning. Boom. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers can now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code CHGO365, deposit $10, and place a bet of $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in app only. Also, I won money off my bonus bets. We were able to cash out Rory's master win. So, woohoo, go use your bonus bets for good. We want to let you know about our friends over at Cornbread Hemp. Maybe you win so much money on Bet365, you go get yourself some CBD, some THC. Go check out our friends over at Cornbread Hemp. Life's been a little crazy lately, and one thing that helps me unwind is Cornbread Hemp's CBD gummies and THC gummies. If you've been looking for a natural way to relieve aches and discomfort, the CBD gummies from Cornbread Hemp are formulated to work with your body, not against it. I'm not as young as I once was. I just tried to go throw a baseball in the alley with Patrick Norton.
How'd it go?
Let her out my arms on fire. And my arm's ready to fall off. I can't throw 70. Never have been able to. And my arm's ready to explode. So it was great. Glad I did that. And we didn't break any windows. So I think that's probably the biggest thumbs up. But I'm not as young as I once used to. I can't just fall asleep when I want to. Now I take some CBD gummies. I turn on a WrestleMania review from Yore, and I fall asleep to the sounds of wrestling. It's very peaceful, and you should go try them out over at cornbreadhemp.com/CHGO. Use promo code CHGO at checkout. CHGO listeners can get 30% off your first order over at cornbreadhemp.com/CHGO. Use promo code CHGO. That's cornbreadhemp.com/CHGO. Use code CHGO for 30% off your first order. That is the good life from our friends over at Cornbread Hemp. And Jared said the White Sox and Bulls have just announced the White Sox City Connect. I thought that was going to be on the 28th, but I guess they announced it now. I'm very, very excited for the terrible, terrible look. I'm glad that they brought back the socks with wings. They were able to do that. But yeah, it is it's first to innovate. There's a promo with the Bulls where they're driven to inspire. Okay, it's 2 teams, 1 city. The only reason you're doing this is because of Jerry Reinsdorf owning the team. Okay, this is stupid. They look ugly. The red pinstripes looks terrible. And it's honestly just like the most hack idea out there. It's literally just what every kind of wannabe designer does is, what if we made the MLB jerseys look like an NBA jerseys? Yeah, they'd look like an NBA jersey and they'd look stupid because the NBA team wears shorts. The MLB team wears pants. Are you going to put the White Sox in red pinstriped or red and black pinstripe pants? Like, this is going to make them look so stupid. And this is the team that has shorts, actual shorts, in their uniform history. This is so lazy. This is so cheap. This is so, like, B level. Like, hack job. What are you actually doing? You could have taken inspirations from your own effing park. You could have used the pinstripes. You could have used the Chicago flag. You could have used any other hack job. Hey, you could have left the jerseys the way they were. They were fine.
It feels a lot like, remember, so this is from a franchise, right? That is one of the best emblems, not just in baseball, but in sports, that White Sox emblem, the 80s jerseys that we all love so much. It's kind of like that band that's now in their 50s and 60s. That obviously, by name, the White Sox coming out with something new. It's supposed to be innovative, but now they just don't have the same sound. They just don't have it anymore.
It's not innovation. You're just taking the damn Bulls uniform. Can someone share if they've shared the pants? Because I only see the hype video.
Yeah, we've got a teaser, not an actual jersey being posted yet. We're kind of waiting on that.
I see some of them being leaked. Some of the ones for the Rockies are being leaked, or at least the merch is. So if you could tell me where to find the full pants, let me know. But yeah, this is a freebie giveaway, as the chat's saying. This is pretty horrendous. I am not excited for this jersey. You should not be excited for this jersey. And maybe it will be so bad that they just wear this for a year and then go back to the regular City Connect. Because don't forget the point of this. Nike bought out the entire ownership of pretty much every single league. They are on the NHL jerseys, NBA jerseys, NFL jerseys, and MLB jerseys. They're actually produced by Fanatics, but it's Fanatics and Nike paired up. And the whole point of this, never lose sight of this. They are a business. They're a billion-dollar industry. What they're trying to do is create as much profit as possible. The reason they're making a new jersey is not because they're trying to innovate or create or change. They're trying to get you to spend your money on something new. This is ugly. This is trash. This is not something innovative. You have 125 years to pull from, and you pull from the Bulls? Awful. Awful. Awful, awful, awful,
They should just do like a Mandalorian jersey or something, or pull from some other kind of IP if we're really going to be throwing darts at the wall here.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid. This is horrendous. And I'm with Sox Haps. If you're just going to make the basketball jersey, just go to shorts. You've done it before. Have Andrew Benintendi just tear up his shin when he's sliding into second. It's a great idea.
We could finally see Andrew Vaughn's legs. Andrew Vaughn's bare legs. Awful. We will actually get a chance to see them.
Oh, these jerseys are going to ruin my life. Yeah, and Blank Name says, best City Connect jersey to the worst. The Reinsdorf way. Woohoo! Yay! All right, let's get to the mailbag. So we got through the Andrew Vaughn section. Sox Jack from Lyle, who is hanging out with us in the chat, said, what is a realistic timeline for William Bergoya and Braden Montgomery? This was the best mailbag question we've gotten in a while. So shout out to Jack for this question. At Adrian White Sox, who is a contributor over at Future Sox, posted Braden Montgomery's first 6 games, 313 average, 378 on-base percentage, 847 OPS. I don't know what the actual slugging is, or maybe that is his slugging. Am I just wrong that that's his? Is that his slugging? Is he slugging? He's not slugging at 847. There's no way. Yeah, 847 OPS. 10 hits, 11 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 1 home run, 2 doubles. Adrian notes that he has the tools to move quickly through the White Sox system. I honestly think it's quick enough to be just next year. He should be PPI eligible. I don't know if that changes. He was a first-round draft pick, and I know first-round draft picks are a part of the PPI program. Now, if they get traded, I don't know if that transfers over to the team that didn't draft them. The White Sox didn't draft Montgomery, but why not? I mean, Cam Smith of the Cubs and now Astros had 19 AA at-bats and 115 minor league at-bats before getting called up to the Astros this year and starting on their 2025 opening day roster. Guys are getting called up quicker than ever. Go look at the Angels. They're calling up guys who have barely even played in the minors at all. The minors have been stripped of what they used to be. There isn't this huge depth of players. It's pretty barren. And there's a lot of teams that are trying to just shrink the minor leagues. They're trying to fold and contract some of these teams, not have single A, double A, advanced A, etc. I think that Montgomery is probably going to prove that he's just that much more talented than double A hitters. And at that point, too, if it's like send him to AAA or just have him start in the minor or the major leagues, like I could see him being at Birmingham by June. Maybe they give him a shot in Charlotte by August, and I could absolutely see him being in the major leagues come 2026. I don't think it's that ridiculous. Like if he performs this well, if he continues to hit at a 313 average and just kind of blows past the talent in Kannapolis, I could see Braden Montgomery being on the team in 2026 because, hey, maybe you get a PPI if he wins Rookie of the Year. Maybe you get that extra, 30th pick right outside the first round if he wins Rookie of the Year. So I think they have a real interest in calling up Montgomery to start opening day. Now, you can also look at Chase Meidroth, and they avoided until the last second or last possible instant to call him up to get that extra year and to, what's it called? His service time, manipulated service time. They took the first chance to manipulate Chase's service time. So maybe they do the same with Montgomery. But if I was them, you could call him up in 2026 if he continues to perform this well. Like if he looks like Kannapolis is no issue, if he does the same at Birmingham, why not? Bergoya at Birmingham, 6 games at shortstop, 1 game at second base. He's got a 308 average, a 419 on base percentage, and an 843 slugging percentage. I think that's right, unless he's got an 843 slugging. I don't know. It's an 843 OPS. 5 walks, 4 Ks for Bergoya, 364 BABIP. That's the one thing, too. Montgomery's got a 313 batting average, but his BABIP's like 429. Bergoya is fairly reasonable. The balls that he's putting in play, they're pretty much getting down for hits, and they're getting down for hits at a fairly decent level. The difference between that batting average and actual batting average being about 60 points, like that's not that unsustainable. He had 6 hits in 12 spring training at-bats as well, and then going back to when they acquired him from Philadelphia for Tanner Banks, 76 at-bats at Winston-Salem in 2024. He had 316, 386, had a slugging percentage of 368. Why not this year? You're watching Jacob Amaya. He's not it. You watching Lenyn Sosa? I love Lenyn Sosa as much as you do. He's not it. Chase Meidroth isn't a shortstop. Maybe that's a little bit too advanced for Bergoya, but Jacob Gonzalez is a first-round pick who's 23 years old, isn't hitting this well. If Colson Montgomery isn't ready for the show right now, and I think that he deserves that time to kind of build up, do you just see if you have something in Bergoya now? The playing time is there. You don't have anyone else who's threatening at shortstop. Seems like a little bit too early for a 20-year-old, but also this isn't somebody you drafted. This isn't somebody that like you had a ton invested into. It's Tanner Banks. Maybe Bergoya is a guy that they start the clock early on. I'd be surprised because I didn't think he was this good of a hitter. But, I mean, he could be your backup plan at shortstop in 2026 if Colson's not a shortstop. If Colson's moving over to third base, maybe Vargas is cut. Maybe Vargas moves over to first base. But I could see 2026, the shortstop either being Colson Montgomery, or maybe if Montgomery moves over to third base, maybe it's Bergoya. I don't think it would be crazy for them to call up one of these minor leaguers and see if Gonzalez can thrive at shortstop defensively, because what is Amaya doing with the bat? Amaya, sub 400 career OPS. We've seen 200-something plate appearances from him. His defense isn't even that interesting. 3 defensive run saves at shortstop in 2024, -1 defensive run saves at shortstop in 2025. He was worth 1 fielding run value in 2025. Like, at best, he's an average shortstop, Amaya is. And with his bat, he's not worth playing. At Eloy's Health, why is Amaya on the team? I don't know. I have no idea. And I honestly don't know, Rick, who you could replace him with. So that's why not give it a shot? I mean, you have Bonnemer coming up as well. Caleb Bonnemer was a second-round pick. You have Colson Montgomery. I see you could try out Jacob Gonzalez or Bergoya now. I don't see why not. I mean, really, teams are calling up prospects quicker than ever, and this isn't a guy that you have a ton invested into. See if Bergoya is something. Again, 20 is very young, but I'm really interested in what Bergoya is doing. This seems like an absolute steal for Tanner Banks. This is who you should be trading relief pitching that comes out of nowhere, that's 33 years old from Montana for. So this is exciting. Jack saying, I watched him hit a double, and I almost passed out. So a shout out to Jack from Lyle. But I think it's very possible that Bergoya and Montgomery could be up quick because there's not a ton invested in Bergoya, and Montgomery just seems like a freak athlete that he could actually survive at the major league level, even though he is fairly young and doesn't have that much seasoning. He looked very good at college, at AAA, or at Texas A&M. So I could see him probably being up by 2026. If not, hey, maybe he's that damn good and they call him up by 2025, but I think that's a little bit too unrealistic. All right, let's take a break here on the CHGO White Sox Podcast. We got to let you know about our friends over at Ray CDJR, along with our friends over at Lucy. Shop savings to celebrate during the Jeep Celebration event at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Now is your chance to store a great deal on your next vehicle. Head to Ray CDJR on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. And right now, get up to $12,000 off MSRP on select new 2024 Jeep Wrangler models with a new dealer discount, or lease the new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Sport 4xE for only $129 a month. Plus, you could shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. Go check out our partner today to shop one of Chicago's area's largest inventories. Find the right vehicle for you, then drive home happy. The team at Ray CDJR is the only team we recommend. Don't miss out on the Jeep Celebration event going out all month long for huge savings on your next Jeep Wrangler. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Woof. All right, we also want to let you know about our friends over at Lucy. You can go check them out at lucy.co if you are looking to change up your nicotine habit, if you're looking to elevate your nicotine routine. Head over to lucy.co/CHGO and use promo code CHGO2025 to get 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind, but it's a way to save time. Hey, maybe you're late all the time to work. What you can do is you can have Lucy shipped right to your door. You can skip going to the gas station and getting your nicotine in a panic. You can have it shipped straight to your door, and you can try out their new breakers. It comes in a ton of different flavors. I think apple ice, espresso, mango. You could go try all of your flavors, or you could try them all. I believe there's a pack where you could try all 6 flavors over at lucy.co. Use the code CHGO2025 to get 20% off. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. We do have some questions that Joey is soliciting in the chat, so if you have any questions, throw them out. I do have some more that I want to get to. I also want to get to Baseball America, talking about who the White Sox will take with their 10th pick in the 2025 draft. But just to go over, building around Chase to kind of flesh this out, because we're kind of talking in circles. 2025, your catcher is going to be Tice and Lee. But then in 2026, and at some point in 2025, Caro and Teal will be called up. But at least probably until May, you'll see Tice, Lee, Narvaez. 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, you can obviously put in Caro or Teal. Maybe they trade for another catcher, but I do think that they seem fine with going with these two guys as their catchers of the future. Maybe they deal from a source of strength in catcher, and maybe another team goes and tries to acquire Caro and Teal, and they're able to get a third baseman, outfielder, yada, yada, yada. But I would say that's probably unlikely, and I think you're going to see Caro and Teal for the long term with the Chicago White Sox. At first base, obviously I'm fine with getting rid of Andrew Vaughn. You could have Tim Elko here tomorrow. I think they're probably going to give him at least 30 to 40 to 50 games in Chicago before pulling the plug on Andrew Vaughn, but we'll see. I see, though, Caro and a free agent probably in 2026 and 2027 if you want to put Teal there as well. But I could see a right-handed first baseman free agent in 2026 and 2027. I don't think that they're going to be under $80 million on their salary cap. I think you're going to see a little bit more spending next year. You hope you'd see a little bit more spending next year. And then maybe in 2028, 2029, you see Wilco. If Wilco's finally able to put it together, he's a big donkey. Doesn't seem like he'll be able to stay at in the outfield his entire career because he's just going to get bigger and stronger. So maybe you're able to move him over to first base by 2028 and 2029 if he's ready. But that's sort of a big if, because Wilco, a lot of red flags. Just a lot of swing and miss. There hasn't been a ton of power this year. At second base, though, for the next 5 years, I'm pretty confidently written Chase Meidroth.
Let's go.
I don't see a reason why not. All the people that saw him in person at the park, Beefloaf specifically, said doesn't seem like he's going to be a shortstop. Maybe once in a while he plays there just to give guys a break. But I think he's your second baseman. Seems like he handles that position fairly well. Doesn't seem like he's going to be a negative. Maybe he is just kind of like a zero average defensive second baseman, but we'll take average at second base defensively. And then if he comes out and hits like he did and gets on base, I'd be thrilled. And just to talk about that too, there was a question from, I believe it was Shy Sox Billy. How much longer until Meidroth moves up in the lineup? He batted 7th in his debut and then 6th on Saturday and Sunday. I think honestly, probably
leave
when
there.
Benny comes, no,
leave him there.
Why?
Because you got to at least give the kid 100 at bats to just hit at the bottom of the lineup just for a little while.
Why?
Where would
you want to expose him Don't you want to get him as many opportunities as possible? That's exactly that. You should absolutely move him up. He should be either first. He should probably lead off. He should probably lead off, then have Robert bat second, and then once Benintendi's healthy, he could be your third hitter. But then, I mean, what? You want to have him bat over Vaughn? Like, Vaughn should not be getting more at-bats than him. Tice should not be getting more at-bats than him. I would be fine that if against Oakland, he's your leadoff hitter. Maybe not. Maybe you give him 100 plate appearances to work his way up, but that seems just like such an old, dated mentality.
Because you're just
he's the future. Give him the opportunities.
That's what I'm
possible.
saying. Is the devil's advocate to that is that you're just trying to protect the kid right now. So if you're asking him to jumpstart an offense, and if you go 3-4 games in a row, you only score maybe 5 runs in those 4 games. You don't want to put anything on that kid that makes him out of whatever game that he's trying to work right now.
They're going to score 4 to 5 runs no matter what. I mean, he's one of 9 guys. They're a bad lineup, and that's not on him. I think it's all about experience. There's no way that this kid, after this team lost 121 games, is going to put the wins and loss and the actual results of this team on his shoulders. I'm all for getting him the most possible experience out there. And Dr. Nick says Wilco's only 19. Absolutely. We'll see what happens. I'm excited for him. I hope it turns out well. I'm just saying the start of Kannapolis hasn't been good. I think his OPS is like under 500. That's all I'm saying. Again, I have him in the future. I hope he's in the future. I hope he's the future first baseman. Just might not happen. At shortstop, obviously Omaya is here in 2025. I think at 2026, they're going to try to have Colson Montgomery be the opening day starter. There was something that Getz did say that, one, Ryan Fuller is in Florida to help with Colson. Colson did hit his second home run down in Charlotte this weekend, but Getz was emphatic about Colson Montgomery. He said, I know he's going to figure out, he's just has to stay the course and make the right adjustments because it will click. We'll see what happens, but Getz says we haven't lost sight of him and we haven't lost faith. So I don't think you should either. I would put Colson Montgomery for right now as the shortstop in 2026, 2027. But then at some point, I think he's going to move over to third base. I think at some point you have to see what Bonheimer does as well when he's a second-round pick. We'll see what happens. But he seems like he really has a slick stance. I can't place who his stance reminds me of, but it's like he's very pulled back. It's very straight too. It's like 2 motions. It's step, swing. Like it's very in line. It feels very connected is what I'm trying to say. Once that foot goes down, it's an immediate fire on his hands. I like the way that it's very streamlined. So I think Bonheimer should be interested. Maybe we get 2028, we see Caleb finally come up at the major league level. But then by 2028, 2029, maybe Colson moves over to third. I know Sox Jack mentions Brian Ramos. He has been activated, and he's now at AAA. I have him, at least in 2027, being the White Sox third baseman. I think one thing that you have to watch is Vargas. Is he going to be good enough to keep for next year? If not, Ramos is the easiest, spot to just fill in there at third base in 2026. But Vargas is pre-arb until 2027, so they may just keep him around until 2027 because he's going to be cheap for the next 2 years. There's no real need to get rid of Vargas. And I think Vargas has a minor league option. I'm typing in Fangraphs with one hand. Miguel Vargas has no options. So, yeah, I mean, it's probably it for Vargas, but if they're making that decision, maybe Vargas isn't it by the end of 2025, and then you have Ramos in 2026, 2027. You could see what he does for the next 2 years, and if Ramos can't cut it, then you maybe move Colson over to third base in 2028, 2029 and see what you have in Bonheimer. And then in the outfield, there's a ton to pick from. You have Wolko as well. You have Braden Montgomery. You have Riku Nishida, who plays second base, left field, right field. You have Nick McLean. I know Sam Antonacci is mostly an infielder, but could he not play left field? Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe they try to see if Antonacci has that type of flexibility. And then also Brooks Baldwin. Brooks Baldwin's been fun to watch. Brooks Baldwin's playing every position on the damn field. 83 weighted runs created plus so far this year, but I will give the kid a little bit of slack. A negative 0.6 offensive value, a negative 1.7 defensive value, but a negative 0.1 F4. Only a 2.3 walk percent for Brooks Baldwin, so that's something that does need to change. I would like to see him get on base a little bit more. 40.6 hard hit percentage, that's decent. But the one thing is that he's played every position besides first base, catcher, and pitcher. Outside of that, he's been bouncing around at every single position. I've been impressed by that. Maybe the more time that he has to play all those positions, he'll settle in at the plate a little bit more. But right now, if he's playing all those positions and has an 83 weighted runs created plus, like, it's still interesting enough for me, even with Brooks being a switch-hitted bench bat. So Brooks is interesting. And also, there was one name that I didn't mention at that shortstop. I have Amaya, Colson Montgomery, Bonner. Jacob Gonzalez, former first-round pick for the Chicago White Sox out of Ole Miss. He's currently at Birmingham. 37 plate appearances, 235 batting average, 297 on-base percentage, 324 slug, 2 walks to 8 strikeouts. His career in Double-A, 444 plate appearances, 226, 285, 321, 30 walks, 65 Ks. I mean, that's basically what Jacob Amaya can do for you. So if you think that Gonzalez can play decent defense, maybe you just see if Gonzalez can cut it at the major league level. And if he doesn't, you can just move on after 2025. I don't think that there's a huge attachment to Jacob Gonzalez. Doesn't seem like he's it. So at some point, maybe you just kind of get that card out of the deck. I don't know if there's anything in Jacob Gonzalez. Maybe you just want to play him to see what you got, because I don't really think that Gonzalez is going to be a part of this team's future. So that's at least my thought of laying out this team and how it will look around Chase. It's mainly about how Colson does. The White Sox haven't lost faith in him. I see that Dr. Nick, hello everybody, it's Dr. Nick. I see that he's lost in faith over Colson.
He's over Colson Montgomery.
Oh no! I don't think I'm doing it, Dr. Nick, perfect Larry. But yeah, I don't feel good about Colson, but we'll see. I mean, he's going to make a major league debut. I mean, I can't say that Jake Gonzalez or even Wilco will ever make a major league debut. Maybe they just never cut it. Maybe they're never able to advance. I think Colson, even if the numbers don't look good in AAA, he will be up here at some point in 2025. So we'll see what that looks like, but I'm not too excited about it. There are a couple things I do want to mention. If there are any questions, throw us out there in the chat. I do want to get to one thing Chris Getz said. This was per Fegan on the Sox Machine podcast. He's like the team's lead so far. James said maybe it was because Chris himself was a pretty good base stealer. But the first thing that Chris Getz said to the media on Friday was that Chris Getz is like their primary leads, is that he thinks that they'll be able to create more runs with their primary leads. That was one thing in 2024 that they were terrible at, was base running. It seems like right now they're really liking the ability of running the bases, taking that extra base. We saw that with Chase Meidroth on Sunday in the 8th inning. He goes first to third. Rafaela makes a stupid throw to third, and then Brooks Baldwin takes second base. Like, that was good. So at least Getz is like that. He's also like the team swing decision. But at the end of the day, with the swing decision, they're swinging at pitches they should in the zone. They're not swinging at pitches they shouldn't outside of the zone, but they're 20th in contact, 24th in power. There's just no talent on this team. The process is decent, but the results are bad because the talent's bad. What will this team look like with talent? Again, you'll have to wait a year, maybe even longer. Woohoo. And one other note before we get into some Bob Nightingale on 670 The Score about Jerry Reinsdorf, I do want to throw out that Vinny, our pal, Vinny Duber, is writing for the Sun-Times. I know that he is going to be filling in on the weekend for both Cubs and White Sox. I know the Cubs are in town this weekend playing the Diamondbacks, so you should be able to see Vinny's writing on suntimes.com. This weekend.
Yes! Hell yeah!
Yes! So it's good to see his byline back out there, and if you do want to read Vinny's work, our old friend, go check him out over at the Sun-Times. Great to see him back in the media sphere. In Chicago.
Chicago sports and Chicago baseball just got better today because Vinny is going to be back on the beat.
Not to be an ass, got better on Thursday. Started on Thursday. Or got better on Friday.
Oh, he started. Well, he got a head start. Okay.
Got better.
I'm 3 days behind.
He did the weekend series with the Sox and Red Sox. So he was able to cover his old pal Garrett Crochet. I know Crochet liked Vinny a lot.
I thought something got better around here, and it was 3 days ago.
And then, he was able to check out Chase Meidroth's debut. All right. If there are any other questions, we'll get to that at the end of the show. The only other thing I wanted to get to was Bob Nightingale was on 670 The Score with Moley, and wasn't in. It was Brad Biggs. Bob said this that I found interesting. Ishbia has been trying to buy the Sox now for 5 to 10 years. That's something that I didn't know about. We know that in 2021, he was able to get in on the ground floor with a single investment, into a single percentage investment, minority investment into the White Sox along with his brother in 2021. But apparently Ishbia has been trying to buy them for 5 to 10 years now. Ishbia did buy minority shares, and Bob Nightingale did say that. So that's another person confirming the report that we had. So just a little pat on my back. Hey, there you go. Ishbia is increasing his ownership. He is in the hen house. That single digit percentage is now double digit. I don't think that he owns, I shouldn't say that. he doesn't own the controlling stake, and that's what matters. I don't know exactly how the White Sox are structured, but I think in 1981, when Jerry Reinsdorf and Eddie Einhorn bought the team, they both had a controlling share. So Jerry couldn't outrule Eddie. Eddie couldn't outrule Jerry, but Eddie Einhorn has passed. I believe he passed in 2011. So I think that when Eddie passed, Jerry got that second controlling share. So I believe that there are minority owners under the controlling shares, and I believe the Reinsdorf do have some minority shares out there. I believe that he said he owns 30%. So you could probably think that 30% is Reinsdorf. A bigger percentage is the Ishbias, and a certain small percentage is minority owners that have kept on. But the biggest thing is that Ishbia has not been sold the controlling stake. And it seems like Reinsdorf, who enjoys baseball, is not interested in selling. One thing too, Nightingale mentioned that the Ishbias abandoned the Twins not only because of the price to pay, but that he also does not like the debt that he has to pay as well. All right. Any questions that we want to get to, Joey? And make sure, too, this show is presented by Bet365. Use code CHGO365.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go into the chat. Actually, it's been a really great chat today. Looks like White Sox fans are feeling pretty good. Looking forward to the future. First one's coming in from our guy, Leonard Gore, as usual. Does Chase Meidroth have the best hair on the roster since Gordon Beckham? I immediately thought of Carlos Quentin, but Carlos Quentin came before Gordon Beckham.
Yeah, Kopech had nice hair.
Rodon?
No, not Chase has better hair than him. I think it's a good call. I think
good.
Chase probably has the best hair since Gordon Beckham. I don't think Chase is from California, but he just has like a surfer California bro vibe to him. I think he's from like the Northeast, so it's very weird that he has that type of vibe. But no, I think he does have some very, very nice flow. Oh, he's from California. He's from San Diego. Boom.
Wow. Sometimes the cover of the book is exactly what you think.
Chase Greg Meidroth absolutely is a surfer. Sox, or do you want to go to Sox Haps?
Yeah, let's go to Sox Haps here. First Q, is it too early for Meidroth to be named Rookie of the Year, or should he get more ABs?
He should get more ABs. I don't think that he's secured it, but that's the one thing in the AL. There isn't really a leader for Rookie of the Year. So if he is like very, very, very good, it's not out of the possibility that he could be the Rookie of the Year.
Your boy Jackson Joby had a good start over the weekend. So
just Jackson Joe, but yes,
Joby is for me.
I don't think that's it, sir. But yeah, I mean, Jacob Wilson's been good. He's got 0.7 WAR. Christian Campbell's been decent as well, 0.6 WAR. But Meidroth probably posted at least like 0.3 WAR or something like that. Yeah, we haven't seen. Actually, Meidroth doesn't have enough plate appearances yet, but I think with his ability to get on, he could compete for Rookie of the Year. I think he could finish top 5 in Rookie of the Year. Absolutely. Do you want to go to the other Sox Happens one?
Yeah, we go to. I was going to also say, Sox Jack from Lyle also said, "Why is Michael A. Taylor our best hitter?"
I think that he again has had decent ability to discern strikes from not strikes. So I think what you've seen from Ryan Fuller is take guys that have that skill already. And I think that's, again, why they stuck with Andrew Vaughn, was they think that he has a decent ability to be selective. There's a selectivity stat out there that's created by Robert Orr, and Vaughn had like 4% better selectivity than Gavin Sheets. So I think they're trying to look for people with decent selectivity, and then they're going to try to increase the bat speed, increase positioning in the box so that you're able to create a better point of contact, right? Like, I think they're looking for guys with that baseline of good plate discipline, and then let's try to increase your athleticism. The one thing that has really been around for Michael A. Taylor is he's been athletic. He's able to still patrol center field, even though he's 34 years old. I think he could still steal a couple bags as well. So the one thing that is, at least on Michael A. Taylor's side, is that he hasn't had any major injuries. He's able to discern ball from strike, and he's still fairly athletic. So I think that's pretty much the reason why you're seeing Michael A. Taylor tread water. And then the other thing, too, though, I mean, you see Taylor be a decent signing, but Tauchman's on the IL. Slater's on the IL. This team could be better, especially in one-run games. They're 1-5 in one-run games, if they just were able to hit the damn ball. There was, I think, one more question. It was Southside boys. Can they sustain this past weekend success? Yes or no? Yes, if they are healthy. I mean, if they had more major leaguers on their roster, they'd be more competitive. The issue is it's really Luis Robert Jr., and that's about it. When Benintendi's here, Slater's here, Tauchman's here, this team's a lot more palatable. Are they a good team? No. Are they 500? No. Can they be a 60-win team? Maybe. Maybe.
They keep TC being at home.
Yeah.
I mean, if they keep having some days where they score runs and they play well at home.
The worst sign is losing six straight to the AL Central. I mean, you get swept by the Twins and you get swept by the Guardians. Or they got swept by the Guardians and took 1 of 3 from the Twins. That was the one thing. It's just you finally see the AL Central and then you kind of get kicked in the teeth. All right. That's going to do it for the CHGO White Sox podcast presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary over at Bet365. Use the code CHGO365 when you sign up. Joey, any final thoughts?
No, just great weekend of White Sox baseball, honestly. I mean, we got to take our positives while we can. I thought it had a little bit of everything, right? I mean, obviously, Garrett Crochet almost throwing the no-no, but Chase making his debut, triumphant debut. They scored some runs on Friday. Not a bad weekend.
And also, too, hey, it's not a bad person to see success. You know, if it's just like Corbin Burns, like, ugh. If it's Kyle Bradish throwing a no-hitter against my team, ugh.
It did make me think,
Garrett Crochet,
just really, really quickly, you said that Justin Ishbia might have been interested in the Chicago White Sox 5 to 10 years ago. I immediately started rattling through all the starting pitchers that we have moved on from in that 5 to 10 year span, because Chris Sale's still on the team in 2015.
Yes, he was. Jose Quintana still on the team.
Carlos Rodon still on the team.
Carlos Rodon.
Dylan Cease.
Dylan Cease. Reynaldo Lopez. Yeah, we can do that. That's a great way to end. We had 50 minutes of positivity.
Just a little trauma on your way out the door.
Yeah, jump off the Mariana Towers.
Thanks for coming in.
That's going to do it for the CHGO White Sox podcast. I've been your host, Sean Anderson. We will be back on Wednesday for our next show, I believe. I should actually check that. I think it might be Thursday.
I think I'm with you on Thursday. I don't know about Wednesday.
Yeah, Thursday. Okay. We're back on Thursday to recap the series between the Chicago White Sox and Oakland A's. That one starts tomorrow. We will talk to you on Thursday. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.